I don't know what happened. This time I have a little bit more information than what was happening, what I saw on Thanksgiving Day. Because when the chat it got interrupted, I looked down at the little icon on the screen that tells me I'm connected to the internet, and it was off. I was offline. So this wasn't a glitch. It may have been something with a laptop. It may have been something with the modem. I don't know. I got my cell phone here now. If it happens again, I'm going to see if I lose connection here too. Because if I lose it on the phone, then there's something glitching with the internet itself. I don't know. That's annoying. Trying to put on a live stream and the technology's fighting with me. That is true. No, I don't think that was Eugene. I think that was me. Because I was sitting there watching it. When it happened this time, a little error message came on the screen, same as what happened on Thanksgiving Day. And this time I looked down at the little icon at the bottom of the screen there, and it said that I was actually offline. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe the laptop glitched, or maybe there's something flaky with my internet connection. According to my list, there's 7 people here right now. Now it's skyrocketed up to 11. Rhonda was here last week. Yeah, these little technology glitches are kind of a pain in the neck. All I want to do is talk to my friends. Christmas Village is assembled. That picture on the cover, that's something I shot actually for the Thanksgiving one on Thursday. But I thought it was a really cool picture, so I used it again. Yeah, it looks really nice. I'm happy with how it turned out. I don't like either of them. I use Firefox. I just I don't like the idea of either Google or Microsoft having that much access to my system, because they've both proven themselves to be fairly untrustworthy. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. Like I said, I was thinking about the Christmas setup when I built the rock case, and I said, okay, well, this should work. But like I said in the video, that was the first time I actually tried it. But I'm glad I didn't have to either move the rock or mineral display case or modify it in some way to make it work right. I'm glad it just worked the way it was supposed to work. Yeah, you guys want to see it? Disconnect here so I can move here. I'm plugged into so many ways here. Gotta have the mouse, gotta have power. Yeah, that's the whole thing right there. I decorated, using some of the rocks and minerals. So I got like, the pink ones I made into a heart shape. This one looks like a little like a skull from that side. Got the train here. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's actually starting to fill up pretty well, isn't it? And I took little pieces of rocks and stuff like that that I have from my Lucky Scoops and kind of spread them around. That one's kind of pretty. So yeah, that's the rock and mineral collection. That little section there, that all glows under black light. So we did that, and that looks pretty cool. So yeah, oh, and I got my National Lampoon Christmas Vacation house up. It's funny. I went over to Department 56, the company that sells those things, and bought a whole bunch more stuff that'll be coming in the next few days. And yeah, that was kind of interesting because I had a link in my favorites. Sorry, I got to reach the power cord here. I had a link in my favorites that went directly to the company website, and apparently that company shares all their information with Google because less than 2 hours after I bought all that stuff, um, Facebook started advertising, giving me advertisements for the very specific things I bought. So yeah, in case you don't think the internet spies on you. A SkyTrack, like what, like a cable car kind of thing? Oh, the water tower's there. It's just actually no, I don't have a water tower. I've got this like little shanty building that's there. Yeah, I probably need to get a water tower. Well, that was why I reused that photo because I probably spent more time creating the photo that I used on the live stream cover photo today than I probably have in any other one. Because here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Pull open the picture here. Let's see that one. Oops. Gotta be careful what I push here. Gosh, got all these ads here popping up. It's crazy. I'm not here to advertise for them. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the actual photo that I used. Uh, I spent a little bit more time on this one than usual because I wanted it to kind of look like night when I did it. So you remember those LED spotlights that I got for Halloween that I've been using a little bit? I used those. I set them on blue, set them on the floor, kind of shining at the ceiling, and then the reflected light went back down and put the camera on a tripod. And I thought this was a really great picture. Turned out really well. I like the fact that you can see actually reflections of the light coming out of the windows of the building, especially like that building right in the center of the screen with the people standing in front of it. You can see their shadow. It almost looks like their shadow on the snow. So yeah, I really like that picture. I think that picture turned out great. I don't know. What do you think? Oh yeah, like okay, yeah. There are bridges that you can buy. I don't have any. I'd have to cut a section out, of the base in order to make a bridge. But I've thought about that too. We could do that. There's all sorts of things you can do. I know. Doesn't it look like a postcard? Great picture. Yeah. I just I originally wanted to start with just get the camera on a tripod and get a nice picture of it, with the camera and just under normal ambient lights. I said, no, we got to make it look like night. Yeah, they've actually got stuff that you can use to make like lakes and rivers and stuff like that. If you really get into the train stuff, it's one of those things that you can really go down the rabbit hole on. I mean, I remember what really kind of inspired me about to get going on my train village is I had a neighbor that lived like across the street and a couple houses down who the father of the house was really into model railroads, and he had a two-car garage, and he basically had almost the entirety of the garage filled up with this model railroad track. It was you know, trains went all over the place and there were switch tracks and all sorts of stuff. And he spent time on it. There were tunnels and houses and bridges and roads and cars. I think that really inspired me to get going on this. Yeah, I don't know. I got to spend a little time trying to figure out how to do some of that stuff. Oh, that's about it. Everything seems so small on the camera here. It's like, yeah, it's because I'm like further away from the computer than I'm supposed to be. That's cool, especially if they have like all the trains on like if they have like a whole bunch of switch tracks inside the museum, and then can just put all the trains in there on the track. You can walk among them. That's always really cool. People last year were calling it Breckville. I don't know. That didn't really do it for me. Somebody on the video commented that I should call it because all the rocks I have in there are from Lucky Scoops that I got at the Rock and Mineral Shop. They said I should call it the Lucky Scoop Mining Town. Yeah, it was really fun seeing that big boy that came through here about a month ago. That was a massive train. I had a really good time. I'm glad I did that. Good morning, Nancy. It's funny how I keep working my way back to West because I've done a bunch in that little town of West. I've done a whole bunch of vlogs down there. There are some like little cafes and restaurants and stuff like that. I even got my own Dairy Queen because what kind of town cannot have a Dairy Queen? Yeah. The wish list is still up there. Honestly, though, I ended up removing a bunch of things because I went and got a few of the things that were on my list this year. Remember last year I had, well, I still have it, got that Christmas vacation house up there, and I went and got a bunch more stuff this year. I wanted to get I wanted to get the Cousin Eddie's motorhome, and so I got that. I got one with the car with the Christmas tree on top of it. I got one that they call Cousin Eddie in the morning when he's draining the septic tank of the motorhome into the sewer. I got that. I got this one where uh, Clark is trying to get the power to come on to the last second to get the lights to light up. And I also got one that's the family truckster underneath the log carrying truck. They call that one "I'm in complete control." So have some more of those coming here. Hey Eric, how you doing, buddy? 20 years old. Wow, you're getting old, man. Time to get a job. Happy birthday, buddy. Really? There's a museum. Where's that? Because that would be something that'd be fun to see. I bet you that would be something that Jordan would go see. Because he's such a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation fan. Yeah, I know. Me too. Wish I was 20 again. Okay. Yeah. When you said it's in Ohio, it's like, well, Jordan's got to have seen that then. Yeah, I don't know. I might have done things different too. I don't know though, because I mean, I can't really say, how much better my life had been had I done this. Yeah, if I get a water shower, yeah, I could put a name on it. Ain't that the truth? No, I actually like the Lucky Scoop mining town, or just Lucky Scoop. Makes it sound like a mining town, doesn't it? I don't know if I have a favorite Christmas movie, but I have a few of them that I go to every year. I've already watched Christmas Story. I've already watched Christmas with the Crumpses. And I have to probably pull out Ernest Saves Christmas Again and Scrooged and um, Christmas Vacation, of course. And of course, I always try and find a way to watch Night of the Meek on the Twilight Zone on Christmas Eve. That's one of my favorites. I know that's not really a movie; it's an TV episode, but it's my live stream. I can do what I want, right? Sequels rarely are as good. I've been noticing a lot of the streaming services have a bunch of crazy Christmas movies out now. Yeah, I like Scrooge. Scrooge has its moments. I mean, I like just about anything Bill Murray's in, but a lot of good people in that movie. Okay, so you're a Christmas Carol fan, yeah. That's a classic. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, it's a classic story that has been reinterpreted many times. Drinking on the job. That's right. I am. I haven't seen a Charlie Brown Christmas and probably since I was a kid. Did love reading Peanuts when I was a kid, though. I didn't know it was the first colored movie. Doesn't surprise me though that an animated movie would be the first thing to be presented in color on TV. Doesn't surprise me at all. I think the Charlie Brown Christmas has kind of been making a comeback in the last couple of years because you're hearing more about it now these days. But I remember, yeah, that was tradition every year. It was that and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. That was Christmas. I don't know what other ones were there. Were there any others? Charlie Brown Christmas and the other two? Yeah, well, I'm old. Old people like me tend to ramble on about the days in the past. Guess I haven't seen that one. Get Low. I do like Sissy Spacek and Robert Duvall. Bill Murray is just one of those actors. I can't think of anything I've ever seen him in that I didn't like him in. Yeah, I know. I've been known to say stuff like that too, Gene. Back yonder. I really like Bill Murray in Ed Wood. He was great as Bunny Breckenridge. It was such an interesting character for him too, because it wasn't funny ha ha. It was just kind of funny, bizarre. I've heard that too, Suzanne. That he's kind of a jerk. I think I said that to Jordan once. That if I could meet like any celebrity, Bill Murray would be the one. And Jordan, I think, said also that yeah, he's kind of a jerk to his fans, which is too bad. You know, he seems like such a great guy, such a guy that would be really fun to hang out with. But yeah, sometimes they aren't who they seem. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes jerks are jerks no matter where they are. That doesn't surprise me either. Probably a bit of a prima donna. Yeah, definitely gotta delay that cuckoo clock a little bit. We gotta get it to the point where it doesn't go off until the grandfather is done. It's a constant struggle. The struggle is real, but that means it's noon. Well, usually adjusting the time is just a matter of raising or lowering the weight of the pendulum. If the hands are falling off, I don't know. I can't do anything for that. I've been entering the twilight zone for a very, very long time. That's the signpost up ahead. I haven't really had to do anything with a grandfather clock except just wind it once a week. They're all holding pretty good time. It took a long time to get that cuckoo clock dialed in, but it's accurate to about a minute a week now. I have to adjust it a little bit, but I don't know. I'll probably go around look for decorated houses again. I like doing that. Yeah, okay, that's way off if you're doing that. Like I said, it took me a month or so to get the cuckoo clock dialed in. Partly because with the cuckoo clock, the pendulum just is kind of clamped to the rod itself, and so dialed in. Partly because with the cuckoo clock, the pendulum just is kind of clamped to the rod itself, and so you just kind of slide it up and down. There's a little bit of tension on there, and so it's hard to make the kind of precise movements that you need to get it to be just exactly right. The grandfather clock, on the other hand, it's really easy. There's a little screw on the pendulum that raises it or lowers it, so you can make tiny little minute adjustments and get it dialed in. And that is still kind of the benchmark for analog clocks in this house, is that grandfather clock. It's the one that I don't usually have to adjust very much. I don't know. We'll go see if there's anything else interesting too. I've been down to West that one time to see the drive-through Christmas Village. That's kind of fun. I don't know if that's something I need to do over and over again, but I'm sure it's going again this year. And I like it when neighbors go all out. Nobody has anything up yet. I hope somebody gets some lights up here pretty quick in the neighborhood. I mean, there's that guy a couple blocks down that had his lights up before Halloween, but I'm not talking about him. I remember Captain Kangaroo's grandfather clock. And I did watch Captain Kangaroo, but that was a long time ago. I got some of my lights up. But I got more to go up. The main lights on the house aren't up yet. I basically got the little spritzers in the tree, those jingle bell things that I got at the Christmas store a couple weeks. Those are up. Um, and that thing I made last year with the clear cups and the hot glue gun and the Christmas lights in it, that's up. My two favorite holidays, Halloween and Christmas. I do remember watching Captain Kangaroo, but I don't remember that much about it. I remember the name Mr. Green Jeans too, but I don't remember who that was. I remember Romper Room. I used to watch that too when I was like 3, I think. Always made me mad, the The she never saw me in her magic mirror at the end. Always made me a little paranoid too. Yeah, but she never saw Brock. Is she watching me now? I don't know. In a lot of ways, you guys are all watching me through the TV. All I'm doing is watching myself. Imagine how horrific that is. Soupy sales was before my time. I've heard of it, but I don't. I've never seen it. Used to be a huge fan of the Sid and Marty Krofft show, HR Puff and stuff. Yeah, Rhonda was here last week, I think. I guess we just got her because of her injury. She did get her on doing, pointless busy work, and guess she doesn't really like it, but is working a lot of Sundays. I found HR Puff and stuff on Netflix a few years ago and hadn't seen it in like probably 40, 45, 50 years, and decided to get in there and binge watch it all again. And it turned out right after I finished watching it the first time, they pulled it off of Netflix. So I don't know. I guess I was lucky to have seen it once, but it's a great show. Good old Witchy Poo and her vroom vroom. Hey Deborah, how you doing? Yeah, I guess it's usually pretty snowy and cold in Canada, huh? Yeah, I haven't seen Dr. Susan in a long time. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Maybe she's just over it. I think that happens sometimes. People just get bored with it. It's like, I mean, let's face it. I mean, we're doing the same thing every week for the most part. Hey, Mark. Merry Christmas to you too. It's not too early to be saying that now, is it? We need that, Yvonne, because it would get boring here otherwise. Christmas tree will go up sometime in the next couple of days. I think the goal today is to get the Christmas lights outside completed. But probably by the time we do the live stream next weekend, next Sunday, it'll be up. I've been kind of watching for the last couple of days. It's been cold here at night. It's been getting into like the mid 30s, so that's getting to the point where I want to get her someplace safe. And I hadn't seen her for a while. Went looking in the backyard, and she found a pile of leaves she was sleeping under. So I put her in a box, and then it warmed up for a day or so. She was out and about, and I found her again and put her back in her box, and that's where she is now. Well, I mean, that happens around here, Yvonne. We all have a little bit of the sillies, and unfortunately, it's highly contagious. I've actually been very lucky with my Christmas lights. The Christmas lights I have on the house now, I've had on the house, this house, every year they put Christmas lights up, and they were probably on the same ones that were on the house for 10 years back in California. They've been very, very rugged and held up very well. I think I want to replace the icicle lights because they're starting to come a little unwound, but so far so good. As for the multicolor lights, they're perfect. Yeah, the rock shop is open again. I went by there last week. Uh, you know, bought a few cool things and got a chance to talk to Kara a little bit. I have a better idea what happened that resulted in the shop. I've told you before that the Gallery 11 was run by a husband and wife team, Kara and Chris. And just hearing her side of the story, apparently they got into an argument and he stormed out and took half the money and left. So I don't know. She's talking about moving to another location. Apparently, there's been some petty crime in the area, and she just thinks it's time to get out of there. But she's talking about moving a shop into Hewitt. Well, Hewitt's not that far away. That's just a little south of Waco. So, we can make that happen. So I wish her the luck. She's going to probably do something this month and get it moved this month. She was talking, that maybe she'd see me one more time before they moved. But yeah, that's what happened there, I guess. Yeah, yeah, it is. Hopefully he'll come to his senses if that's what happened, and they'll get back together. Because I mean, it's funny because I was always the one to kind of talk to her when I was in the store, and he was always kind of there. But the last time I was there with both of them there, we had a really nice conversation. I had a good time talking to him. So I don't know. That was strange. Well, it was an interesting thing because she's the person who's into crystals and rocks, and he's a jeweler. And so what they did is they sold jewelry, and a lot of the stuff was stuff that he handmade himself. And you get rubies and all these great rocks and minerals that he turn into stuff. And so I don't know. The story's going to be a little different. She says she's going to just start selling off all the jewelry, and it's just going to go back to being just a rock shop. So you know, it's too bad because the company seems to be doing well. Every time I go in there, there's people in there, and it seems to be a lot of repeat business. And I know I'm that way too. I go back over and over and over again. But you know, I know unfortunately I don't know how much the jewelry end of things was carrying the store because a lot of times I did see people in there. They were trying on jewelry and stuff like that. So I don't know. What did I get from the rock store? Oh, okay. Well, we got to do that now, don't we? All right. Let's start with this one just because it's close. Um, this is it's an amethyst, but I thought it was really interesting because it's a red amethyst. Usually amethysts are purple like this. And they had a big stack of amethysts that were all purple. And then this red one was right in the middle of this. And it's like, what are you trying to do? Hide this from me? So I picked that up. That was a really cool piece. I like that one. And I got this, and I thought this was really pretty. I like things of all different colors and stuff like that. And it's got this kind of gorgeous red color and all these really cool crystals in it. So yeah, I like that one. That one's a neat piece. That's just something that I saw and I said, oh, I got to have that. And that's a good one. Let's see. Let's get this one here. This is one that she showed me pictures of a while ago, and I showed the pictures here, and I saw this one, and I had to get this one. Look at this one. I know that looks like little pieces of twig or something in there, the brown stuff, but it's actually gold, and it reflects light. And so, yeah, I think that's really really cool. I like that. It's really really fragile, so I don't even touch this side of it. But the backside is just really really nothing. But yeah, I like that one. That one looks really amazing in my collection. Let's see, I'm too far away to reach here, so let me shuffle things around here. This is another one that I'd seen a picture of that I wanted to get, and I just thought that was really cool. I like all the reflective stuff on there. This one's really fragile because the stuff on the front just seems to be a really thin layer right on the surface of the rock, and it comes off really easy. So you kind of got to be careful of this one. This is one I might end up putting on one of those little racks that I built for my fragile rock specimens. And then I got this thing. I don't think Kara's figured this out about me yet, but one of the things I like is um, is like raw gemstones, and I don't think she's picked it up. I've gotten a couple of opals from her. I've gotten a ruby from her. I've gotten what else do I have from her that are like gemstones? Well, this is a a piece of what is it? What is it? I forgot now. Oh, fat man, I forgot what it is. But it's a blue gemstone. Oh crap! Let me see. What's the name here? I don't know. I got it written down here. Sorry, I just brain fart here. It happens when you get old. It's an emerald. That's what I'm looking at. It's an emerald. So, like I said, I like kind of raw gemstones like that, and yeah, an emerald, maybe from Emerald City. It's not a really spectacular piece, but it's still pretty cool. I almost dropped it. What a klutz. So yeah, those are the yeah. I had like a little rock thing too that I got when I was a kid. In fact, I think I still got it somewhere. where it's just like a little card and it has just little polished specimens of different kinds of rocks on it. Nothing really spectacular. No, I didn't go to. I haven't been to Houston in a while. Last time I was in Houston was when I went down to the Johnson Space Center. That's the only time I've actually been in Houston. A lot of people have rocks in their head. I just have rocks on the mind. I don't know if that's any different. Yeah, sometimes I do know where they're from. Not always, not most of the time. And if I do know where it's from, I'll usually mark it on the little tags I put with my stuff. Yeah, me too. But I still like my rock collection, so that's good. You say money can't buy you happiness, but money can buy you rocks, and that's kind of the same thing, right? Houston had too much traffic. I don't know. I don't like going through Dallas either for the same reason. There's just too much traffic, too many people, too hard to get anywhere. It took so long to get from the Johnson Space Center to the point where I was out of town. It took like 2 hours to get out of town. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Cash Patel does. I think he can do some good things over at the FBI. I'm very eager to see what's going to happen. I love the idea of the Department of Government Efficiency. We've needed that for a long time. Well, I think that's part of it too, Lindex. I lived in traffic and around in and around LA for all my life. I couldn't stand traffic, and that was one of the factors that had me choose Waco. I think you're right, John. That he just thought he could go in there and it would be just like any business that he ran, and then he didn't realize that there were going to be so many people that were going to be out there trying to sabotage him. I do hope he learned his lesson, and for the most part, he's picked some really stellar picks. I don't know. RFK Jr. is still a big lefty, so I don't know. But I guess I like the fact that maybe there's different types of voices speaking in his mind, speaking to him and letting him, sharing his mind with him, and so I don't know. RFK definitely has reason to have to be bitter towards the Democrats after what they did to him. I wasn't really sure about Nikki Haley for the UN ambassador last time either, but she was great. Not sure about Marco Rubio either. He can kind of be a little squishy, but I don't know, ambassador to Israel, and maybe he'll be good on that. I think a lot of times they just want to, make that connection to the family name. I don't think he'll get a chance to pardon Hunter. I think Joe will do it on the way out. Nothing to lose. I would go by and see the house. I mean, I know they took out the patio cover and the patio and the pond that was in the back, but and they took out one of the trees. I had two trees in the middle of the yard or in the yard, one towards the front, one towards the back. They took the one out in the back. That was a couple years ago that I was there. It was fun to get a chance to see a couple of my neighbors. They just happened to be out and about when I was there. Oh, I'm sure he probably will. No, no, I love where I am now. It's not going to make me homesick. Waco is where I should have been all along. And the people who live there. I mean, they're not all evil, but there's a bunch of people there that are just really not nice people. It's funny. I talked to a friend of mine who's part of my group of friends I have from back in California, and we talked on the phone a couple nights ago, and he said that he's thinking at this point that he's going to move to Texas, and he's found there's a lake uh, about 50 miles from here called Lake Whitney, and I guess he's found some lakefront property that he's thinking about, and that would be really cool because he's a really good friend and 50 miles away. I mean, that's not a big deal. I drove that's about what I drove to go visit Jordan all the time when we both lived in California. So, I can do that. It'll be good to see him. And if he's on lakefront property, that'd be awesome. So he was talking about how maybe he was going to do that in the next year or two. I hope he does. Yeah, I know it is such a beautiful state. There's so many different environments there. You can go from mountain to desert to beach to forest to whatever. It's all there. It's all within like a 2 hour drive. No, I ain't gonna ever get to the point where I say y'all. It's funny. I remember being in Texas when I was in my teens. We came here. Well, we drove through Texas on a church group thing, and we stayed in Texas one night. It was somewhere in West Texas. I don't even know where. And I remember at the time hearing a lot of people talk with like really serious, Texas accent, and you hear it a little bit every once in a while here, but I don't hear the accent anymore as much. That was one of the things I did miss a little bit. There was a little bit of brought back a little bit of melancholy when I was there a couple of times ago. Was the beach air because I went down there once. That was when Beth's father took me to to see the battleship and the Freedom Bell, the Korean Freedom Bell. And when I was down there, I smelled the salt air for the first time. I was like, oh man, that brought me back. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't hear enough of it, I think, to pick up any of the inflections. So I don't know. I do know that someone I knew who moved to Texas many years ago and then moved back to California had a very pronounced Texas accent by the time she came back. But I don't know. I don't hear it happening in me. Who knows? Maybe somebody will do a before and after video, a video for me when I'm still in California and a video for me now, and prove that I'm wrong. I'll just leave that to y'all. Yeah, see, I think a lot of it is you start hearing it and you just start pronouncing things differently. But like I said, I hear it occasionally, but for the most part, no. Well, I guess I could understand maybe it happening if you were going to like South Africa, because South Africa does have a very, very thick African accent. And, sometimes, if you're trying to communicate with the natives, you have to try and, speak in such a way they can understand you, because at that point you're the outsider, you're the one with the accent. And, sometimes I can understand, people learning to, say things a little differently so they can be understand. But it's different, I think, because I've never had no matter how thick of a Texan accent somebody has, I've never gotten to the point where I can't understand what they're saying. Well, I think that happens too, Lindex. Some people think it just sounds cool and then they do it. People always said that they could hear, people here used to say that they could hear a Minnesota accent in my mom. I never heard that, but then again, I've known her all my life, and she doesn't sound any different from me, or what I think at least. So I don't know. I love the accents in the movie Fargo. You know how long it was before I realized that Frances McDormand didn't actually have that kind of an accent. Didn't work for Kamala. I haven't watched Fargo in a long time, but it is a great movie. think that was the first time I was aware of Steve Buscemi. He was great in that. It's kind of a violent movie. Apparently, it's based on a true story. I guess it was a story of a guy who was trying to get some money from his rich father-in-law, and he hired a couple of goons to kidnap his wife, and then they were going to split the money. Well, in the process, the goons end up killing the wife, and then everybody turns on each other, and they basically end up killing each other. And one of the goons actually puts Steve Buscemi in a wood chipper at the end of the movie. And Frances McDormand is a police officer who's like investigating this. That's right. She was pregnant. That's right. I forgot about that. I've seen a lot of things that he's in that's really great. He's got a little bit part in uh, what's it called? Billy Madison. He's got a little bit part in that, and it's really kind of it's really a great scene for him. It's only two little short scenes, but he's really great in it. And of course, I like him in anything that Quentin Tarantino does. He was great in Reservoir Dogs. I remember that too, Yvonne. Apparently, he was living in New York during September 11th, and he was actually a volunteer firefighter down there at the towers, working to rescue people. So yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, yeah. He's another one that Steve is another one, another actor I wouldn't mind meeting. Yeah, that's a meme though that kind of writes itself. Besides, I don't think we're going to ever see Kamala again. She's over. She got smoked. And hopefully, if Trump can turn some of this mess around, people like AOC will become irrelevant. Now, I think there's a lot of women out there that'd be great politicians. The thing that the thing that scares me is that one of these times, one of these guys is going to win. I would that was my biggest fear in this last election. Is like, we can't survive another 4 years of this. And why is it that the people don't get this? Why don't they see this? Why do they fall for the same, you know, nonsense every time? What we need is some sort of an outsider like Donald Trump was. Somebody that isn't corrupted by the politics of government. Yeah, no, no, Dr. Jill. I can't respect her just because of what she did to her husband. A loving wife would not have allowed her husband to go out and humiliate himself the way she allowed Joe to go out and humiliate himself. But it was all about her. She liked being waited on. She liked being treated like royalty, and nothing else mattered. She just doesn't have any character. Well, that's it. That's it exactly, Lindex. She likes it when people salute when she walks by. She likes it when they stand at attention. She likes when they open the door for her. You know, oh man, Michelle would be bad too. Well, that's the important question because I think we have a right to know who has been running the country. It's clear it isn't Joe. I keep thinking of that movie Dave. Anybody see that? That's a good comedy. I think it's funny that the Prime Minister of Canada met with Trump recently, Trudeau, and Zuckerberg too. Yeah, I think Eisenhower was the one that came up with the military-industrial complex. Amen, John. Amen. Because I mean, you got to look at this and say this can't go on this way. We can't just keep throwing away, money and hoping that we can buy our way out of this hole we've dug. That's why I'm so encouraged by this Department of Government Efficiency with Musk and Ramaswamy. I'd love to see what they're going to do. I don't know enough about all of the picks. I was listening to Mark Levin this morning when I was getting ready for the live stream, and he was talking about the Secretary of Education. He said he wasn't that wild about the choice, but I don't know enough about her. Yeah, Homan's going to be good too. Amazon, that's a company I wouldn't want to work for. There's a big distribution center for Amazon here in Waco and a lot of jobs there, but nah, I'm happy where I am. I have a much brighter future here. Yeah, I'm in a real lucky position right now. The fact that I'm bringing home more money each paycheck than I've ever brought home in my life, plus the fact I don't have a mortgage or rent. Yeah, that allows me to waste my money on rocks. Gotta love that I live in a country that let me waste my money on rocks. I mean, you got one of these? No, you don't. You got one of those? No, you don't. Probably never even seen one of those. That is the coolest of the things I picked up, and I got some really good stuff. I could make my own Emerald City now because I have an emerald. Haven't even started Christmas shopping yet. Of course, it's probably going to be pretty easy because really it's just my sister now. And I don't know, we didn't really do Christmas last year. Yeah, I tend to do like gift cards and stuff like that. Then they can pick what they want. I got to the point where, the niece and nephew, they're adults now, that they don't need $25 from their uncle anymore. Yeah, it's the ultimate freedom. Don't have to worry about, going out and finding something. Oh yeah, I'm sure I could go visit anytime I want. But at this point, I want her to come visit me. I've been to her house dozens of times. She's never even been to Texas, so I don't know. I want to see her come visit here. Couldn't get my mom to do it. Couldn't get my dad to do it. I know, right? Yeah, that guest room is just gathering dust. Of course, I did have a little house guest this morning. I was coming out here getting ready to open up the windows to get ready for the live stream, and there was a big lizard sitting on the windowsill here, gotten in the house. Captured it and transported it back outside. Oh, Jordan's been here a couple of times, but he's really the only house guest I've had. I haven't seen any snakes. Well, no, I saw one snake when we were driving into town, and I was told one of the times I was out on one of my hikes in Cameron Park that somebody had seen a snake, but I didn't see it. Supposedly there are. I just haven't seen them in the area. I do see the lizards though; they're all over the place, and I like that because I had like lizards in my house in California too. And actually, I guess I did see a snake when I was down at the wetlands, the Waco wetlands. It was just a little one though. Yeah, I've seen possums in the yard. They're fairly common in the area. I think it's a possum that keeps coming over and knocking the trash can over next to the barbecue. No, I mean, Flash has interacted with possums before. They don't seem to, really be terribly concerned about each other. And right now, Flash is in her box with the door closed. Haven't seen any water moccasins around Lake Waco. In the winter when it gets dark, and in summer when it gets dark, though, the bugs are out. They're thick. Remember, I went down around Lake Waco and was looking for rock and mineral specimens and found that one piece and found a scorpion. And then it got dark, and then the bugs were just swarming. It was everywhere. I had to leave. It was so bad. It is hard to breathe in an insect swarm. I was doing this on the way back. Well, I think we made it through another live stream. We had to start over in the middle, and that happens somewhere sometimes. But looks like we managed to keep our connection going. So um, I'm going to pull the plug on this one. Go figure out what I'm going to do for today, and I'll catch up with you again next week on another exciting episode of live stream. Yay! All right, talk to you later, people. Thanks. Good night.